In the morning when I'm driving, I really come alive when I listen to my RonyiQ. They are rare and they are few who can compare with RonyiQ. So grab a chair, she's coming through. She's on the air, it's time for RonyiQ. They are rare and they are few who can compare with RonyiQ. So grab a chair, she's coming through. She's on the air, it's time for RonyiQ. RonyiQ. Ronnie.
Grand rising, grand rising, grand rising. Thank you all for being here. Please hit the like button on your way in. I wanted to start the news off with a remembrance of Nolan Wells. So there has been a lot going on with the Nolan Wells case that I wanted to share with you. The latest update that I gave you was on Monday. Since Monday, the NAACP has joined in representing the the Wells-Wamsley family, which means that there will be more resources that the family will have to investigate this case. So, I have a couple of. Today would have been Nolan Wells' 19th birthday, and there are a couple of issues that have sprung up about this case, but I've noticed that these professional journalists like Don Lemon, like Nancy Grace, like Chris Cuomo, who would like to belittle of these content creators, have never said a word about this information that has come out about these cases, but they have never talked about of this information that has come out about these cases that have kept this case alive. So I want to question, why is it that these professional journalists that have lost their job in professional media, who are content creators themselves, have never opened their mouths up about the fact that while Christine was out in a McDonald's parking lot trying to get a report filed about her missing child, with police departments telling her that, oh, well, this is not our jurisdiction. You're going to have to call another agency. Oh, well, we don't cover this jurisdiction. You're going to have to call someone else. That there were actually, there's actually a documented call where they are police officers telling each other to drop what they're doing and get out to the judge's house about a missing person report. I'm very curious why these journalists are acting like they can poo-poo on these content creators. None of these journalists have talked about that. I'm very curious why these alleged journalists have not mentioned or played these police officers hightailing it to some judge's house about a missing person on the night of Nolan Wells going missing and Miss Christina, who they act as if they have so much respect for. But they are playing along as if they have no information about these facts. And as they are playing along with it, they are also playing along with the fact that Warren, who's on TV with Tater or whatever they choose to call the race baiting Tatum, they are playing along into the guise that Warren is acting as if he didn't know at the time that there was an issue that Nolan was missing. If he didn't know that there was a problem that Warren was missing, why were the police hightailing it to a judge's house about a missing person? And how come this police officer race baiting Tatum never had any questions to these boys that black people want to believe are guilty of something? How come race baiting Tatum had no questions about why were the police coming out? Do you know anything about this call that the police were going to a judge's house? Wyatt, not Wyatt. Did they come to your house? Were they coming to your house? Skeletor. Your isn't your stepmother a judge? Did they come to your house? Because we have a call where the police officer were hightailing it to a judge's house and about a missing person. Did they come to your stepmother's house? Oh, why is none of this stuff being fleshed out? Since they just want race baiting Tatum, just want to get to the truth. I'm very curious. Is anyone else curious about this information? So now, race baiting Tatum put out that the hey I didn't see. Hey, Outspoken. How you doing? Hey, Foot Soldier. Hey, Liam. It's good to see you. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for becoming a new member. Once again, Outspoken One. Carrie Original. Hey, girl. Hey, it is so good to see you. Cheryl Burnett, it is also good to see you. Madison, it is good to see you. Let me go back and speak. I'm just curious. Did you guys even know about this call that they have on tape of this police department talking about get over, drop whatever you're doing and get over to the judge's house now? I'm going to play it for you if you are unaware of it. I'm going to play it for you. I'm going to do my due diligence and play it for you. So all of these professional media professionals, we got Chris Cuomo over there talking about he has information about the case that is going to say we have Chris Cuomo over there trying to say that Nolan Wells, well, we know he liked to drink. It's no secret that he liked to drink. Chris Cuomo is over there trying to act like he's some alcoholic degenerate. Well, everybody knows he liked to drink. And we have Chris Cuomo over there talking about, well, I have information that no one else is privy to. And I know that the autopsy is going to say that he drowned. Chris Cuomo knows all of this about an autopsy that is allegedly still sealed, has not been revealed. But Chris Cuomo is positively making accusation about what the autopsy positively says about the cause of death. But I wonder why Chris Cuomo, who was fired from CNN, doesn't have the information about this police call where these police are hightailing it to some judge's house about a missing person the night of Nolan going missing. While Christine Wasley is trying to report her son missing, and no one is taking the report from her, giving her the runaround. And finally, taking the report in a McDonald's parking lot and walking away from her, leaving her feeling like they are not even taking this seriously. And she is like, they have no fire under them, and are not, and are like, oh well, see you later. We got your report. Bye. I wonder why these seasoned reporters who want to separate themselves from these content creators and want to act as if you can't take anything seriously from these content creators. I wonder why they are taking these positions. Nancy Grace, you have so many questions. Nancy Grace actually told you that she thought that race baiting Tatum is a very smart person. But did you hear race baiting Tatum ask any questions about any of that? Things that he obviously know. And let's get to this Cito call. Why are they? Why did Chris Cuomo? Why did Chris Cuomo try to throw in something about the? Why did Chris Cuomo try to throw in some shade about if you could trust the Cito call? He didn't say that it was fake. He said it was seasoned because they know that if they say that the Cito call was fake, he's opening himself up to a defamation call. But what he did say, he put it in a black woman seasoned the call. So with all information that you put out on your channel, the race of the person that gives you the information is of any value to the information that is put out, Chris Cuomo? So that's what he did, to try to dog whistle that it is invalid information because the call was seasoned by a black woman. That's what Chris Cuomo did. But this isn't about race. Ben Crump is making this about race, and we are not making this about race when we are 100% making this about race. So, everybody is so happy about Auntie Nancy Grace coming on to this case. Auntie Nancy Grace, who knows good and well that these boats belong to these rich white people who have power in Mississippi, who sit in power in power positions in Mississippi. And this, she knows that these boats belong to these rich and powerful people in Mississippi. And you have someone who works for the United Cajun Navy, sits on her show and tells this professional prosecutor who has never lost a case, and he tells her, this same person who is sitting up in pictures with the governor of Mississippi, who says that Al Sharpton and Ben Crump needs to get out of Mississippi because they are tainting Mississippi and they are making this case about race. This same man who is in pictures with that governor. Now you have Nancy Grace, have him Brian Trasher sit on her show and tell her, well, we offered the scent dogs to Benjamin Crump to go on the boat, but he said he didn't want them, so he turned us down. A blatant lie. And why would you offer scent dogs to Benjamin Crumps to go on boats that Benjamin Crump has no authority to approve to go on boats because Benjamin Crump's clients don't own those boats. So how could Benjamin Crump approve you to have those dogs go on the boats? And what did this professional journalist and prosecutor Nancy Grace say? Crump, how come you didn't allow the dogs on the boat, Crump? This professional, this professional journalist, and everybody is so happy that Auntie Nancy is on the case. And it was not until who came out and said the obvious that Crump does not have the authority to allow these dogs on these white people boats. And then Nancy has an epiphany that she should have had as soon as Brian Trasher said that shit. They allow these people to come on their shows and put out these bullshit narratives about these families and about Ben Crump, who Nancy Grace, my good friend Ben Crump. And what else did Nancy Grace do about her good friend Ben Crump when she allowed race baiting Tatum come on her show and defile the mother of Nolan Wells? It's my understanding that the family is not cooperating with the DA. They refuse to turn over the phone. Are you telling me that they haven't turned over the phone? You know, in the last 10 minutes before you came on here that they didn't give over the phone? Yes, Nancy, they are not cooperating with the DA. Okay. So Nancy Grace, and all of your producers that are producing this show. Are you following the story or are you not following the story? When Benjamin Crump and his whole crew came out on July 15th after sitting down with the DA, the first thing that they said about the phone were that they were going to pick a date and they were going to go through the phone together. Was that not clear? Was that or was that not clear? Was that or was that not clear? And then who came out and said that they were not cooperating and giving the phone data away? It was race baiting Tatum. He was the one who furthered that story. And who else furthered that story? Those lying lawyers who are product placing baseball caps with attorney names and whiskey that race baiting Tatum sells in every video that they do. Who are trying to profit off of this case? These people who are product placing liquor and attorney baseball caps. These motherfucking shysters. But you have them sitting up there putting out narratives to disparage the family of the dead. This is what Auntie Nancy is doing. This is what Auntie Nancy is doing. Okay, so Auntie Nancy acts like she don't have a brain in her head. And then Auntie Nancy tries to assist and says that, well, if the police want the phone, all they have to do is they have to put out a warrant for the phone, and they can get the phone. So you're telling them that the police can usurp their agreement that they had on the 15th and just bombard the family and just go take the phone against the family's will and just do whatever they want with the phone. Obviously, the family have good reason not to trust this police department. You know, the police department that was making sure that they were going out to a judge's home to about a missing person and was giving the parent of the missing person the run around and meeting her in a McDonald's parking lot, but making sure that they dropped everything to go to a judge's home. So obviously, when they got their attorney, they wanted to be sure that they were also getting the information that was being pulled off of the phone, so there could be no fucking foul play, and there could be no shit that was erased that would be useful to the family. And then in this investigating arm of the Mississippi government could do like they first did hours after Nolan Wells' body was pulled out of the fucking water. Well, there's it appears to be no foul play and he drowned. Do you think that that is not what the attorneys were trying to ensure when they came out and told the whole public that they were going to review the data of the phone together at a college, some college in Mississippi that is a renowned college. Now, then when when people got in Nancy Grace's ass, she came out and told you that she had been to this Mississippi college herself, and they were a renowned college, and how this college was known for recreating a crime scene. Hey Jill, how you doing? She came out herself, and after being cramped, they can get the phone. They can subpoena the phone. They don't need the family to give the phone. Why do you think that they made sure when they sat down with the DA that they made assurances how they were going to go through the phone that was in the family's possession? Nolan Wells is not under investigation. He is not under investigation. Let's be real clear. So why was Nancy Grace suggesting ways to subpoena his phone? Okay. So and then she turns around and says, "Well, this is a prestigious place to do reincarnate crimes." So what was the problem, Nancy? What was the problem, Nancy? Since Ben Crump is your good friend, but you let Brandon race baiting Tatum sit on your show and lie on the mother and the family of a dead child and say that they weren't cooperating with the attorneys. This was over a month later that they had made the agreement with the DA, and the DA never bothered to contact them until race baiting Tatum came out and said that they weren't cooperating. And then what happened? Strangely enough, what happened after that? Right after race baiting Tatum put that out in the ethos, you know what happened a day or two after that? Here comes a demand letter from the DA office telling the Christine and her family that they had 48 hours to turn over Nolan's phone. 48 hours, a demand letter. And what happened that same day? Benjamin Crump attorneys wrote her a letter and said, per our agreement on July 15th, we were supposed to get together ourselves and or the FBI and our team and go over the phone at whatever college this was in Mississippi and go over the phone together. They also talked about them going over the phone together when they showed that happened when they were at that press conference. The attorney talked about that. We were going to go over the phone together, and we sent them a letter. They talked about that. They tried to send them a letter when they were at that press conference. Some type of journal, black journalist press conference. And the attorney was very clear. She was very clear that we were going to go over the phone together and possibly with the FBI, and we were going to go over it one time together. And she said that this is not this is a regular protocol, and we had already made that agreement on July 15th. So your DA tried to pull a fast one when she knew that they were out of town, and gave tried to give them 48 hours. So they responded to the letter. So what is what do we have now? Hey, kind to me. What do we have now? What do we have now? Let me share my screen with you. What is the happy birthday? No, it's I really can't say happy birthday. I really can't say happy birthday because there are no more birthdays for Nolan. Well, let's keep it real. Nolan had his last birthday when he turned 18. Today would have been his 19th birthday. So they send out their minions. They send out Brendan Tatum to the and you know what? I really hope that him coming out and telling this lie, which was easily refuted by the press conference that they had on July 15th, saying what was agreed upon. I really hope that they sue the dog shit out of race baiting Tatum. So, with all of that said, now who comes out on yesterday with a statement? Now, this woman has absolutely no respect. This now, let me say something about this DA. Uh, she came out with a statement on yesterday after she got caught trying to demand something and trying to change the parameters and trying to fall in on this lie and demand of Nolan's phone when Nolan is not under any investigation. You're supposed to be investigating the cause of his death. Okay, so she came out after she was caught hanging with this bullshit that she tried to pull on the family. Here's what her statement came what is Jackson County, Mississippi. Jackson County District Attorney Angel Myers Ilrith released a statement Tuesday afternoon following public criticism of the DA's office and investigation of the Nolan Wells case. Now, let me say something. This is just a personal observation that I have, bitch. This is just a personal observation that I have. Now, there is already a petition to yank the license of the medical examiner. There is already a petition out there to have her license revoked. So, what I will say, we know all of the French Creole and all of the French Creole shit that goes on in Louisiana and Mississippi and all of that shit. Bitch, I see the tinge of thick roots in your motherfucking hair, bitch. I see the fact that you think that your ancestors were brought out of the slave quarters earlier than most, bitch. Bitch, bitch. We see you, bitch. We see you, bitch. And just because your ancestors were brought out of the slave quarters a little earlier than others, and what you it appears that you think you can do for proximity and to hide who you are, motherfucker, uh, to try to hide and keep your proximity, bitch. See, they don't have RICO charges for nothing. They don't have RICO charges for nothing. So let's see what she has to say about her performance, about what she just tried to pull. In the statement, she addressed an alleged lack of transparency from her office and the timing of the release of information in the case. Let's see what she has to say. As district attorney, I do not have the same freedom to share information publicly that private individuals may have. For example, I do not have the freedom to release letters I've sent in this investigation, discuss witness cooperation, or the testing of evidence. Yeah, that's bullshit. We all know that that is bullshit. How many cases have you seen tried in the media by the district attorney? How many cases have you seen DAs come out and tell you and piece by piece that they have we have questioned so many people? How many cases have you seen that district attorneys have said that they are writing up charges and they expect to file charges on so many defendants? Why is it that these bitches think that we supposed to believe that every case that they file has to go before a grand jury when they don't want to file charges on the people? When is it that does every case have to go before a grand jury? Is that how every case is filed in the United States all of a sudden? Yeah, every case that they don't want to file against their friends, against people who they want to protect, all of a sudden it has to be brought before a grand jury, and we supposed to act like, oh, that's how it always goes. Oh, DAs never bring charges on by themselves. Everything has to go through a grand jury. Don't you know that's how it's done? No, that's how it's done when they don't want to bring charges. That's how it's done. Okay, let me continue. Okay. As district attorney, I do not have the same freedom to share information publicly that private individuals may have. For example, I do not have the freedom to release letters I've sent in this investigation, discuss witness cooperation, or the testing of evidence. I do not have the freedom to identify what information is verified and what information is false. I do not have the freedom to publicly adopt a narrative and choose one fact over another, nor do I control the information released by private individuals who are not part of the investigative team. I cannot control whether private individuals release letters they have sent to me. I just release letters they have sent to me, just as I cannot prevent them from releasing letters I've sent to them. I cannot control which facts or bits of information are shared or whether that information is being shared in context, twisted, or misconstrued. Public commentary does not make the speaker transparent. Just like exercising restraint consistent with the law does not make the process corrupt. The fact that something is said does not necessarily means that it is actually true. So what she's saying is, just because Benjamin Crump came out and told you on July 15th that we had an agreement that we would sit down and go through the phone together on a date. We would choose a date and go through the phone together. That does not necessarily make it true. But I'm not going to tell you that it is untrue, because I'm not gonna hang my ass in a sling and tell you that it is untrue. But I'm just gonna say, just because somebody says it is true, I have a devotion to integrity and all of this shit. But she's not gonna tell you he's lying. This is what's going on. She's trying to throw some salt in the water, but she ain't gonna tell you he's lying. That's what she not gonna tell you. Okay, let's continue. Where am I? Just like exercising restraint consistent with the law does not make the process corrupt. The fact that something is said does not necessarily mean that it's actually true. Prosecutors are held to the highest ethical standard under the law, as we should be. The people we serve deserve no less. I un- I understand that a that a void is perceived when some are speaking publicly about a matter while others do not. I would be stepping outside of the bounds of the law if I were to fill that void and share information publicly. With all of the public pressure being placed on my office, the void would only serve to get pressure off me. Well, what are you doing now, sweetheart? Bitch, what are you doing now? You're filling the void to get the pressure off of you right now, and there would not be this void. And you're filling the void because you allow Brendan race baiting Tatum to go out here and these silly attorneys to go out here and say that the onesies are not cooperating with your office and they have not turned over the phone. How would they know that the phone had not been turned over to you? How would they know that? How would they know that? How would they know that the data from Nolan's phones had not been investigated? How would they know that? And now you are trying to come and fill the void to get the pressure off of you, bitch. Okay. But she think y'all crazy. She think y'all crazy. Okay. Where was I? Okay. Where was I? I would be stepping out of the bounds of the law if I were to fill that void and share information publicly. With all of the public pressure of being placed on my office, filling the void would only serve to get pressure off of me. Nolan deserves better. There is no pressure that can be placed on me, and no force that is greater than the weight of the oath that I took and my responsibility to the people I serve. Who you serve? The question is, what people do you serve? My obligation and commitment is to present the grand jury with all of the evidence collected in this case in order for them to reach a decision based on a thorough investigation, complete evidence presentation, and actual truth and understanding of the law. Now, I didn't understand that a prosecutor's commitment is to present their facts of an investigation to a grand jury. I thought that a prosecutor's job was to prosecute crime, not to investigate crimes to present it to laymen's. See, because people on grand juries don't know the law, they are laymen's. So you mean to tell me that a prosecutor job is to go to school, go to college, go to law school, understanding all the ins and outs of the law and of and their states and this the state law, federal laws, to turn over all of their investigation to common layman's, to the ignorance of Mississippi, the most ignorant people in the United States, and have them to decide whether there's a crime committed. Is that your job? Is that what you're telling me? We're supposed to believe that the most uneducated populace in the United States, that's your job? You oh, you think we stupid as the people in Mississippi? Oh, okay, okay, all right. That's our obligation. Collected in this case, in order for them to reach a decision based on a thorough investigation, complete evidence presentation, the actual truth and a understanding of the law. I am obliged to do so in keeping with the law and the rules of the court. On July 23rd, 2026, I released a recorded statement explaining the process and what the people of Jackson County should expect in this matter. There is nothing more to be shared at this time. I caution the public about assigning trustworthiness to things they read and see online. I also ask that rather than those individuals demanding that I step outside of the bounds of the law and make public statements, we all step back, allow the process to work, and allow us to do the job we were elected to do. I stand firmly on the rule of law and my ethical obligations. That is what the people of Jackson County elected me to do. I will present the grand jury with a thorough, complete, and fair investigation into the death of Nolan Wells. Jackson County District Attorney Angel Myers McEarworth. Let me see. Y'all got anything to say about that? Yeah, y'all got anything? Was I sharing that with you guys? I hope I was sharing that with you guys. I was I sharing that with you guys? I hope I was sharing that with you guys. I think I was sharing that with you guys. Okay, good. Thank. That is her full statement. What do you guys think about that? Hey, Barry Carey. Good day, Gwen Star. It's good to see you. Hey, like it's best said, are we seeing people get put in handcuffs for less? When they say less, I mean less. But, exactly. Hey, Fred Shields, it's good to see you. Hey, Jill, Comfort Zone. Okay. Now, how come these media figures like Chris Cuomo, Don Lemon, and Nancy Grace, these are professional media people who want to poo-poo on content creators? I'm curious about another thing that they are not talking about. Now, these content creators are out here doing the thing. I wonder who's going to get this money from the people because these content creators are out here busting this story wide open. So I'm going to share a little information from these content creators. Now, y'all remember that this CETO call that was made, and they didn't want they were sinking and they needed help, and then all of a sudden they didn't need help, and then when she called her captain and wanted to advise the captain that they needed a tow, and then the tow said, oh, that's Jerry. No, I just got off the phone with Jerry. And oh, what is his name? Not Wyatt. Warren was still on the phone with Cito. She just put him on hold to call her captain. I just got off the phone with Jerry. Jerry said they're okay. They don't need a tow. And you were curious, well, how did you just get off the phone with Jerry? And Warren is still on the phone with Cito to get a tow. And now when you call the captain to tow them, I just got off the phone with his grandpa, and he said he don't need a tow. Did you know that the grandpa allegedly was actually on the island? Did Nancy Grace ask race baiting Tatum? Well, anything about that? No, she never asked anything about how is it that grandpa told them don't go out and rescue his grandchildren who were calling and in despair about being towed to safety. Did a Nancy Grace ever ask race baiting Tatum, well, where did the call to, was grandpa out in the out at on the island? Did where did grandpa get called from? Was grandpa sitting right there in the island watching them only meters away from the island, watching the whole shebang go down? Did he have them in eyes view and know that they didn't need help? We're going to go through a lot of things. Uh, the lawyers, they make money left and right. They use these tragedies as a money grab. The parents had a lot to do with it. What parents, Manny? What parents? The parents of the rich people who have a GoFundMe, with those parents, the rich parents who have made a GoFundMe, the rich parents who have boats and all of this stuff, who has a GoFundMe, those parents. I'm curious. Okay, so let's get into some of the things that I'm talking about, but these professional journalists are not talking about, and I'm wondering how come your professional journalists are not asking. Now, another thing. And another thing that I find awful strange, these professional journalists that just want to call everybody else YouTubers. I'll save that for later. Hold on. Let me get to. Let me get to this. Now, one YouTuber, I'm gonna give it up for a Queen. Who is it? The original Queen. The original Queen Amadea Shakur show. I love her content. She is one of the first people. What is his name? Warren. Warren is the one. I was the first one who called Christine, and I was the first one. I called the National Guard. I was the first one who called the not the National Guard. What is that? I was the first one who called the not the National Guard. I was the one who called the Coast Guard, and I was the one who called the Coast Guard. But the Coast Guard never came out, like because he wanted to pretend like he called the Coast Guard that night. But what he did was he called someone who he knew was in the Coast Guard, because when the Coast Guard reviewed their record, there was no call from Warren to the official Coast Guard, but they reviewed and they said, well, yeah, we had somebody called someone that they knew in the Coast Guard last night, but there was no official Coast Guard call. But you know who really called the official Coast Guard? It wasn't Warren. It was Bart who called. And it is on official paperwork who really called the Coast Guard. It was Bart. And his name is on the paperwork. So while Warren is sitting up there running off at the mouth, it is really telling. So let's get into a couple of clips that I want to share with you. I have a couple of clips compiled of the information that I want to share with you of how all of these lies are just falling in on themselves if you are paying attention. I wasn't paying close attention, but I'm paying a little closer attention now. Let's get into the updates. I'll share them with you now. The links are in my description box. You will find them under updates, Nolan updates. Sharing is caring. Let me uh, let me get back to this. If you haven't seen these updates, I want to share them with you. I want to share with you the clip that they are reporting is to be the grandfather out there on the island. I want to share with you the audio of the cops saying that they need to get to the judge's house, drop what you're doing, and get to the judge's house. These TikTokers, she is one of the TikTokers who has been on it, and y'all know that pink cupcakes or pink petal girl. She has been on top of it, and they have been. She's a TikToker, and they have been taking her pages down, shutting her pages down left and right. And it is unfortunate that these I am a professional journalist have not been touching all of the important information that has been coming out about the Nolan Wells story that has kept this story alive. Here we go.
On Christine Wansley's legal team. And the legal team now consists of Ahmad R. Smith, a African-American attorney with R. Smith Law PLLC, who joined her case on August the 11th. Which this is very interesting because once he entered into the case, it led to the withdrawal of three of the other YT attorneys, Gary Bufkin, Luke Whitaker, and Joel J. Abbott from Carol Bufkin PLLC, who.
So they said, oh, he coming on? We don't want to be a part of it no more.
The motion to withdraw for representation of Christine Wansley on August the 12th of 2026. The legal team is currently still working on obtaining records for social media, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It does not change the case at all. Anything that they have found while they were working for this case is still, it's not going to cause any prejudice or undue delays. But they did not explain why they withdrew. But that's questionable. I don't know.
Welcome to the channel. Hit subscribe because what you are about to hear does not make it to mainstream media. Every single day that passes in the Nolan Wells case, something becomes clearer, and here is what is now clear. The truth of what happened on July 4th is not found on July 4th. Whatever happened to Nolan Wells, whatever took place before that boat left Horn Island and never returned, began before that day. Something existed in that circle before July 4th that made July 4th inevitable, and his friends know exactly what it was. 6 weeks, 2 interviews, a lawyer present for every single answer, and not one specific detail about what happened on that island has left any of their mouths. That is not grief. That is a decision. But here is where it gets deeper. There are 3 independent investigators on TikTok who have each uncovered a completely different angle of this case. 3 separate lines of investigation, 3 perspectives that mainstream media has completely ignored. And when you put all 3 together, the picture of exactly what happened to Nolan Wells and exactly why it happened becomes impossible to deny. Before we move forward, pay close attention to Warren, how he speaks, the words he chooses, and what he reveals here, because it may play a very important role in what we're examining today. And when you put all 3 together...
Now there is some mysterious letter that has come out. They're suspecting that it is from a female because of the way that the letter is written. Now, they are saying in the letter that the reason why the body was not found on Sunday, July 5th, is because they took Nolan's body, allegedly took Nolan's body, to someone's private property where there was either a walking path or some type of farm, and they tried to keep it in a cold area. And even with that, there was a decomposition had already started, and because there was some smell to it, and they dropped it off in where they dropped it off the next morning. Now, there had already been reports that a body was found by the people who monitor the waters at something around 3 something in the morning on Monday morning. But they didn't report that they found Nolan until around 8 something in the morning. Now, I really wonder why this isn't being talked about. Now, reportedly, it's not widely reported that the body of Nolan or a body was found at 3 something in the morning on Monday morning. Then now this letter said that they tried to keep the body cool. I don't know. They thought it was going to stay cool in Mississippi in July if they put it under some trees on the outside, because they stupid and they full of alcohol and other recreational party favors allegedly, and they low IQ who don't have to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, because they sit on generational wealth off the backs of black people who gave them generational wealth, while they always make sure that black people cannot attain generational wealth. You know, that type of shit. And they are the low IQ motherfuckers. These bunch of dummies sitting up here. And this is supposed to be their legal representation on the far right, sitting up here looking like a whole motherfucking bumpkin with product placement on his fucking head. A whole motherfucking dummy. And this is who they hire for their legal representation. Let's continue.
The picture of exactly what happened to Nolan Wells and exactly why it happened becomes impossible to deny. Before we move forward, pay close attention to Warren, how he speaks, the words he chooses, and what he reveals here, because it may play a very important role in what we're examining today.
I wish I would have done this different, or I wish I would have done that different, because now one of my brothers passed away. But I think from the beginning, I'm glad that I called the Coast Guard, and I'm glad that we came together as a group, even from the first day when people started texting us things, saying, crazy things. But I wish it wouldn't have been reported as some type of race thing. I think it's really bad that people are pushing the narrative, oh, this is a race thing. Well, obviously it's not. I mean, this is like a brother to us. I mean, Nolan's no different than anyone else in our group. And I just,
if you watch my video on Wednesday, I will show you how Brendan Tatum pushed this as a race thing when they talked about the people who came to pick up his key, and they talked about Javion. What color is he? Oh, he's mixed. But he's not white. This race Tatum. He's mixed, but he's not white. Well, that means your children are mixed and they are not white. He wanted to make sure you knew that Javion, whose mother and himself came to pick up Nolan's keys. What color is Javion? What did that have to do with the story about picking up the phone and the phone? What color had to do with that story. But they want you to believe that they are. I hate that race had to do anything with it. And did you stop race baiting Tatum when he asked you about Javion's color? And made sure he was clear, but he's not white though. I just want us to be real clear on the facts.
I just wish this wasn't pushed on the media as, oh, this is a bunch of white guys that killed a black guy, or this is four, like in the beginning it was like 4 guys went to
Well, we're not supposed to see this.
a stranded island and dumped Nolan at the island and just left him there. Like even from the beginning, it was just like this thing and no one had facts and they were just pushing this horrible narrative, all lies about everyone. And it's sick. So I wish that would have been completely different. I'm glad I called the Coast Guard. I'm glad I made the first contact within all of this. I'm glad I was the first one that called Christine Wells that night and told her that we haven't heard from her son. And I'm glad that I did all of that, but I hate the way this has been perceived by the media and portrayed. This has like been absolutely horrible with the way and the things that they've said to us.
Not chimed in on the Nolan Wells of it all yet because I'm still synthesizing the information. But I just watched a video. It was midnight. I just finished a workout and something clicked. I watched a video that made something else click that I watched earlier today, and that's this. The kid calls for a tow. The woman, Vicky, calls the captain to do the tow. And she says, this kid's grandfather, this Jerry Ackerman, is a member. Before she says the guy's name, the captain says, Jerry? Just got off the phone with him. I literally just got off the phone with him. And he said that they don't need a tow, that they're fine. So, hold on. The grandson is calling for the tow simultaneous to the grandfather calling the captain of the towboat saying they don't need a tow before the captain gets a call from Vicky. When did the kid call the grandfather? While the boat is sinking, he called grandfather. What could grandfather possibly do for you? He called the grandfather for, what the fuck do we do? This kid's dead. Grandfather said, you got to make a trail, that you tried to get help. There was an accident. Something happened. The boat's going under. Oh, okay, it's a boat. Call. So there was a recording of you trying to get help for something, and we'll figure it out later. I think that their story has evolved.
That's why he was on the phone call. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Somebody told me to call you. That's all I'm doing. You know what I'm saying?
But that was what the grandfather thought of then, to create a timestamp in history of what was happening, what they were doing, where they were. And that there was a completely different emergency happening, nothing to do with Nolan, okay? And the grandfather did not want to get billed for this tow, and obviously didn't want the captain to go and happen upon whatever the fuck's going on. So he preempts the emergency call to the captain and says, hey, you might get a call, but they don't need it. I walked them through it, it's fine. It was an alibi advised by the grandfather. Another thing.
I couldn't imagine that they want to get underage drinking on camera. So what they had articulated to me that it wasn't abnormal for people not to snap and not to do a lot of pictures and things like that because they were focused on.
But you told me they showed you pictures and videos.
Yeah,
so
but
they
it's
did
not
take
uploaded.
Pictures and videos.
No. It's not. It's not a lot of pictures and they weren't uploaded.
Shut the fuck up, Brandon, because he is spinning his wheels here, trying to convince Nancy that the boys were telling the truth. They let me see their videos on their phones.
And this is the constant catching of this buffoon in lies. Let's catch this buffoon in more lies. we're going to get back to this. The obvious buffoonery of this man that Nancy Grace continues to have on her show. And he is an obvious liar and continues to get caught up in lies. Trying to tell you, you don't see what your eyes are telling you. I am so sick of the bullshit. And we're supposed to believe this dumb shit. Let's get into this.
Hit that like button, and if you're not already subscribed to the channel, why don't you go ahead and do that too? All right, y'all, as y'all know, Brandon Tatum has done multiple interviews with Nolan Wells' quote-unquote friends. But Nolan Wells' quote-unquote friends may have done one interview too many.
I want to get to the phone situation of Miss Christine or Miss Wells said online, and I've seen it on the news and everything, as if she had to come and hunt you down to get this phone.
Now, we know that Miss Christine said that she sent Davion's mother to get the phone. So now he's lying on Miss Christine. He always has to lie on this mother, this grieving mother. He always has to put a lie in about this grieving. This is why I hope he is sued to kingdom come. But what he doesn't now, and he's setting up a whole lie, and he's lying on the mother to set up a lie. Let's be real clear. He's setting up a lie, and he's dragging a grieving mother in to set up a lie for these white men.
Warren, you weren't at the situation of Miss Christine or Miss Wells said online, and I've seen it on the news and everything, as if she had to come and hunt you down to get this phone. Now I know, Warren, you weren't at the house. Now I know, Warren, you weren't at the house. Now I know, Warren, you weren't at the house. And so you weren't there when they came to get the phone and all that. And so you weren't there when they came to get the phone and all that. And so you weren't there when they came to get the phone and all that. Well, what happened with the cell phone thing? So let's go back to the first engagement you had when it comes to the family or somebody coming back to get the cell phone and keys. When did that occur, and what happened there?
Okay, well, that night, about 12:30, I went back to my buddy's house.
And you said the night of the 4th?
The night of the 4th, but it was about 12:30, I would like to say. And so I went back to my buddy's house that I stayed the night before, where we all met up, and stayed together the night before. And my buddy got a call from this guy, and the guy was like, oh, what's going on with all this Nolan stuff? Very aggravated. I mean, yeah, every right to be, but I mean, we were trying to calm him down, and he was just like, oh, where are y'all at? My buddy said, we're at my buddy's house, and he said, all right, and then he just hung up. And so about 30 minutes later, I'd like to say, all of a sudden the door just got open and slammed, and there was a girl who walked in, and probably about 8 or 9 guys behind her, and then another mom, which was Javon's mom. And
who is Javon? I want to put that in perspective. Who is Javon?
Javon is one of Nolan's good friends. He's a friend of mine too. Great guy, and his mom and their family is very close with the Wells family, and so I don't know why she was there, what was going on, but I was very surprised about this. I was like, you just basically kick the door open and, bust up in the house, no knock or anything.
So is Javon black or white?
Who put race in this? Who's putting race in this? And why?
Javon's mixed. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, I guess he's mixed.
Yeah.
So, but he's not white.
He's not white.
Who said, but he's not white? Yeah, but he's not white. Who did Ben Crump or Al Sharpton put race in this and make you well aware, but he's not white? Was that Ben Crump or Al Sharpton, or was that race baiting Tatum to make sure you knew that Javion is not white? And Javion mother came with him and made sure you know he don't count because he's not white. Let's continue.
Just white. Or all white.
No knock or anything.
So is Javon black or white?
Javon's mixed. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, I guess he's mixed.
Yeah.
So, but he's not white.
No, he's not white.
Just white. Or all white, I guess you call it.
Yeah.
So then they come in the house. Do you know any of these people?
I know some of the guys.
The mom, but do you know anybody else?
I've seen the mom before, and I know most of them. Most of the guys went to high school with me, and like I'm friends with some of the guys. I mean, you know, I know some of them. So eventually, like things started to get heated, and I was just like a guy I was friends with in high school. He was like, "Man, come outside with me," and I was like, "All right." And I walked outside with him. He was like, "Man, I don't know why." Like they're panicking, and you know, like this is just like I think Nolan's just on somebody's couch. He's been drinking all day. He's just messed up, and you know, this is nothing that we have to worry about. As much as you know, I sat there and I told him, I was like, you know, I agree. I would think, you know, he's on somebody's couch, just had been drinking all day and just, you know, drank too much and was super intoxicated. And, you know, that's kind of what a lot of us thought.
But you never told Miss Christine that when she called looking for him. That's what you allegedly thought when they came to pick up his keys. But you told Christine that he stayed on the island with some chick that you didn't know.
But they were kind of losing it, and they were going crazy. And the mom that was with them demanded Nolan's phone, because Nolan left the phone on the boat. And when we ran in, Nolan didn't ask for his phone, and his keys were not on the boat.
When we ran in, Nolan didn't ask for his phone. Well, you left Nolan on the island. When we ran in, how would Nolan ask for his phone if Nolan was left on the island? But Brandon, I was a cop and I know how to investigate crimes and all of this, had no question right there. What do you mean Nolan didn't ask for his phone? I thought you said that Nolan stayed on the no question right there. And Nancy Grace and all of these investigative journalists don't even know about these two stories, but they want to poo-poo on content creators because I'm a journalist. Chris Cuomo, Don Lemon, Nancy Grace, what say you? Why you got that big face, smiley face? I want to hear both sides of the story. Daniel Grimes sitting his face too close to the camera. I don't want to see both sides of his motherfucking pores sitting up in the camera. Nobody wants to hear all of this both sides of the story splaining. I want to hear facts. I want to hear real journalism. If Watergate had happened under this type of bullshit journalism that they want to call themselves journalists, Richard Nixon would have fucking skeeted all over the White House on his way out of the White House after he had ended his second term successfully in the White House, because these are a bunch of uncurious ass motherfucker who just want to pat themselves on the back of being journalists without doing the job of actual journalists. Ugh.
Because his car was parked at my buddy's house where we had all slept, the night before the 4th. And so the keys were left at the house because Nolan's car was at my buddy's house where we stayed at. So of course he left his keys there.
Now I know, Warren, you weren't at the house. Now I know, Warren, you weren't at the house. Now I know, Warren, you weren't at the house. And so you weren't there when they came to get the phone and all that.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Can somebody please tell Warren that it's very hard to walk outside with somebody and have a whole conversation with them about the phone and then walk back in and sit down and have more of a conversation if you were not at the house? And the craziest part is that y'all think that we're so unintelligent that we pick up on the fact that you went in detail about a conversation that you had with one of the people who came to the house with Javon's mother before you got up and walked outside with a person and then turned around and came back in and sat down and continued the conversation. And I gotta tell you, it's kind of hard to walk somebody outside, have a conversation with them, come back in, sit down, and continue the conversation if you're not there. Listen, do me a favor. Copy this, paste it, share it, put it on TikTok, put it on Instagram. Use it however you want, because this dude right here just got caught out there. Let me tell you something. This video right here may be one of the most important videos that I've ever made on YouTube. So get this out there. Get the information out there. Spread it around so that everybody knows that these kids are telling stories. And as a matter of fact, before I end this video, I'm going to run it back and play it one more time.
I want to get to the phone situation of Miss Christine or Miss Wells said online, and I've seen it on the news and everything, as if she had to come and hunt you down to get this phone. Now I know, Warren, you weren't at the house. Now I know, Warren, you weren't at the house. Now I know, Warren, you weren't at the house. And so you weren't there when they came to get the phone and all that. And so you weren't there when they came to get the phone and all that. And so you weren't there when they came to get the phone and all that. Well, what happened with the cell phone thing? So let's go back to the first engagement you had when it comes to the family or somebody coming back to get the cell phone and keys. When did that occur, and what happened there?
Okay, well, that night, about 12:30, I went back to my buddy's house.
And you said the night of the 4th?
The night of the 4th, but it was about 12:30, I would like to say. And so I went back to my buddy's house. I stayed the night before, where we all met up, and stayed together the night before. And my buddy got a call from this guy, and the guy was like, oh, what's going on with all this Nolan stuff? Very aggravated. I mean, yeah, every right to be, but I mean, we were trying to calm him down, and he was just like, oh, where y'all at? My buddy said, we're at my buddy's house. And he said, all right. And then he just hung up. And so about 30 minutes later, I'd like to say, all of a sudden the door just got open and slammed, and there was a girl who walked in, and probably about 8 or 9 guys behind her, and then a mom, which was Javon's mom. And
who's Javon? I want to put that in perspective. Who is Javon?
Javon is one of Nolan's good friends. He's a friend of mine too, great guy. And his mom and their family is, very close with, the Wells family. And so I don't know why she was there, what was going on, but I was very surprised about this. I was like, you just basically kick the door open, bust up in the house, no knock or anything.
So is Javon black or white?
Javon's mixed. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, I guess he's mixed.
Yeah.
So, but he's not white.
No, he's not white.
Just white.
Yeah.
Or all white, I guess.
Yeah.
So then they come in the house. Do you know any of these people?
I know some of the guys.
The mom, but do you know anybody else?
I've seen the mom before, and I know most of them. Most of the guys went to high school with me, and I'm friends with some of the guys. I mean, I know some of them. So eventually, things started to get heated, and I was just like, a guy I was friends with in high school, he was like, man, come outside with me. And I was like, all right. And I walked outside with him. He was like, man, I don't know why, like they're panicking and, this is just like, I think Nolan's just on somebody's couch. He's been drinking all day. He's just messed up. And, this is nothing that we have to worry about. As much as, I sat there and I told him, I was like, I agree. I would think, he's on somebody's couch, just had been drinking all day and just, drank too much and was super intoxicated. And, that's kind of what a lot of us thought, but they were kind of losing it and they were going crazy. And the mom that was with them demanded Nolan's phone, because Nolan left the phone on the boat. And when we ran in, Nolan didn't ask for his phone and his keys were not on the boat because his car was parked at my buddy's house where we had all slept, the night before the 4th. And so the keys were left at the house because Nolan's car was at my buddy's house where we stayed at. So of course he left his keys there.
Now I know, Warren, you weren't at the house.
That's good investigative, Brendan Tatum. I know, Warren, you weren't at the house. Sitting up here, setting up a lie. After 3 weeks prior, he had already did an interview where Warren gave a full-throated interview of all these conversations of who he talked to and what they talked about when he was at the house, when people came to pick up Nolan's phone. Get the entire fuck out of my face. And you're a great journalist, Nancy Grace and Chris Cuomo said that Rememberance Tatum is such an intelligent man and he will be welcome on their channel anytime. This is who these great journalists are platforming on their channel to get these lies out to their fucking dwindling fucking channels, especially Chris Cuomo trying to build of audience of these MAGA supporters, because nobody else is supporting his alleged journalism. So he is trying to go the MAGA route to get paid off of bullshit and lies. Fucking trash. The same Chris Cuomo who told you, well, we know that Nolan liked to drink. We know. How do we know this? No, we know no such thing. But he said proof positive. Well, everybody knows that Nolan likes to drink. We knew that he liked to drink. Chris Cuomo, what evidence that you have to prove? I hope that Chris Cuomo gets sued as well for stating that we all knew that Nolan Wells liked to drink. Nobody all knew that. Who knew that and how did we all knew that? And I hope that Chris Cuomo also get sued for saying that proof positive that he had factual information that the autopsy said that Nolan Wells died from drowning and that he had proof positive information about what Nolan Wells' autopsy said. And if that was proof positive information, I hope that he has to sit in front of a deposition and say where he got that information from. Since he wants to sit up here and suck the dick of a MAGA, I hope that MAGA nuts in his throat. Let's, excuse me. I didn't want to go that far, but sometimes you just gotta tell the truth. Chris Cuomo can see so much, but he can't see. Anyway, let's go back to where I was. I apologize. Nancy Grace, Nancy Grace, when are you going to ask the right questions, Nancy Grace? You don't see all of this, Nancy Grace? Nancy Grace, what are you paying your producers for? What are you telling us that race baiting Tatum is so smart for? How come you never want to answer the right questions about black young men, Nancy Grace? Don Lemon, do you just want access to big names, Don Lemon, or do you want the real hard-hitting answers to the hard-hitting questions, Don Lemon? Do you just want to run your mouth about the news, or do you want to break the news? Or you just want access and to be rubbed shoulders?
And that, of course, they wouldn't want to film themselves drinking. They all film themselves drinking. No, but they wouldn't upload it onto Snap. Here's why he just fucked up. The mother, one of the first days after this all happened, the mother said, we wanted his phone because he had snapped and we wanted to see the snaps that he had snapped. And the snaps were deleted.
All right.
So she had seen his snaps. The whole point of Snapchat is that you are able to post things that maybe you don't want a record of, but at least everyone knew you were having fun. The stuff deletes. You know if someone screenshots it. So he had absolutely snapped. Go into his phone, into his account, because your historic snaps, and those were gone. And today, Crump, the family via Crump, subpoenaed Snapchat and Meta. Why would they do that if they didn't absolutely see his snaps that those kids deleted? And this Brandon Tatum is helping them cover it up. Ew, Brandon Tatum.
Negative. We're en route to the judge's house now. You said y'all en route to the judge's house or from the judge's house?
What? How come Brandon Tatum and Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo aren't talking about this dispatch call from the police officer as poor Christine is out there trying to get someone to take the report about her son being missing? And they are telling her, this is not our jurisdiction. You're going to have to call someone else. We're going to have to call someone else. Let's hear what the police are doing.
Ew, Brandon Tatum.
Negative. We're en route to the judge's house now. You said y'all en route to the judge's house or from the judge's house?
Wait a minute. Let me put closed caption on this.
Ew, Brandon Tatum.
Negative. We're en route to the judge's house now. You said y'all en route to the judge's house?
Negative. We're en route to the judge's house now. You said you're en route to the judge's house?
Or from the judge's house?
Or from the judge's house?
En route to the judge's house.
En route to the judge's house.
Destined for IQ up on you. Appreciate it.
En route to the judge's house for IQ up on you. Appreciate it.
32, finish up with whatever you got and get down here.
32, finish up with whatever you got and get down here.
Currently down with a potential missing person.
32, down with a potential missing person.
Do you have all the information from the 1050?
Do you have all the information from the 1050? I wonder what a 1050 is in Mississippi. Let me see. Jackson County. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see what is a 1050. Let me see if it'll tell me. Meaning of a 1050. In Jackson County, Mississippi, police call. In Jackson County, Mississippi, Mississippi. There is no publicly available code that lists explicitly defines a 1050 in the provided Mississippi Police Code references. This means the meaning of 1050 is not a fixed statewide standard. Let me see. It varies by department, region, or even era. No specific type of incident. Let me see. Mississippi police radio codes. Let me see. I want to see what a 1050 is. Let me see. Let's see what they are finishing up on. This would be helpful. $10.50. That's a traffic code. So he was finishing up on a traffic code, a traffic offense.
Info? I'm 1024, 108.
From the audio we just heard, Warren's account.
Hold on, I'm 1024. Let me see. I'm 1024.
I'm 1024, 108.
From the audio.
10:08. Let me see what is 1024, 10:08. I'm 1024, 10:08. I don't see a 1024, 10:08. There is no 1024. There's a 24, which means cutting. There's a 24. Does that mean I'm cutting that way? I don't know. I don't see a 1024. I see a 24. There's no 1024, 10:08. Let's continue. Let's go back. Let's hear that one more time.
It's helping them cover it up.
Did you guys hear about this police call about going to the judge's house? How come these journalists are not asking questions about this police scanner call? Huh? How come these journalists aren't talking about this? Nancy Grace, we got questions.
Ew. Brandon Tate.
Negative. We're en route to the judge's house now. You said y'all en route to the judge's house or from the judge's house? En route to the judge's house. That's info. RonyiQ on you. Appreciate it. Info.
32, finish up with whatever you got and get down here.
Currently down with a potential missing person. Do you have all the information from the 1050? Info? I'm 1024, 108.
From the audio we just heard, Warren's account raises some serious questions. The way he describes that call doesn't immediately sound like the kind of panicked reaction we might expect from someone who had just discovered that his friend was missing. Instead, there are details in the conversation that make us pause and ask what Warren knew, and more importantly, when he knew it. And then there's the fact that Warren later went into the public spotlight and presented himself as the person who made that crucial call. That makes the timing, the wording, and the circumstances surrounding that call even more important to examine. Now, this alone does not prove that Warren lied or was involved in anything, but when someone's public account is compared with the actual audio, every inconsistency becomes significant. So the question isn't simply, did Warren make the call? The bigger question is, what exactly did Warren know before that call was made, and why did the call sound the way it did? And if you thought that was the only strange part of the story, wait until you hear the next angle, because this is where things get even more difficult to explain.
Get on the boat. He wouldn't get on the boat. It's things like this. You are locking yourself down to specific facts. And what law enforcement does from that point is they either verify or disprove those specific facts. And once you start poking holes in somebody's story, what that leads to is statements of, oh, well, that's not what I meant. What I meant was this. You make another statement, they poke holes in that, and so on and so on. Classic law enforcement behavior. But this Warren Hudson guy is doing it for.
So that's what you bring race baiting Tatum in to change the story. Warren, you weren't there when they came and got the phone. After he 3 weeks later sat down and did a whole video talking about how he was there and who he went outside and had a conversation with, because everybody's supposed to believe a tap dancing race baiting raccoon. Okay. No, we don't. We know a raccoon when we see one. We know a lying needing to be in proximity to whiteness raccoon who will do anything to shame the black community when we see one. And we don't believe anything that comes out of his lying mouth either.
For them. The cops just have to sit back and watch. Now, it's possible this guy had absolutely nothing to do with it, but if he did, if he is remotely involved, if he has information, he is committing just a classic blunder. He needs to keep his mouth shut. Don't talk to the cops. Don't go on a podcast and talk about it. It just boggles the mind sometimes what people do, things that they're not supposed to do. Anyhow, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Tell me in the comments. I appreciate everybody watching. This is Keith the Lawyer.
There you go. Keith the Lawyer. I ain't got no problem with that. But some of y'all do, so let's talk about it.
And the simple fact that these numbskulls went on this idiot's podcast with an alleged lawyer representing them. And the other thing about this lawyer that represented them also was a representation for your president. They thought that they was winning. That shows you really how dumb and low IQ that they are. They sat up on a raccoon's podcast with the lawyer of our weak-minded president and said all of this shit. How is it working out for you guys now?
Some of y'all really want this case to just go away. Ain't gonna happen. Yeah, man. Let's focus on Nolan's final hours. Who was president? What Nolan allegedly said, and how he was supposed to get home.
To be on some damn island if the homies.
Let's see what else we have here. I like her too, Lakeisha, Keisha.
Phone back. And if you guys recall, as it relates to Nolan's phone, as we recall from the very beginning, there was an argument to get Nolan's phone back. And if you guys recall, Trayston came out and said that the phone situation was not him. I'm sorry, it was not Nolan. In fact, it was him. We don't believe that, and I'm going to tell you why.
And I never believed that a Trayston guy. That was me. Another raccoon running in front of traffic to avert your attention. No, that wasn't Nolan asking for his phone back. That was me. No, that was Nolan asking for his phone back. Now, the new theory that is going around is that when Wyatt said that his brother got into some fight, the theory is that Warren brother got into a fight. Warren brother got his ass beat, and the theory is that Nolan got a video of it, and they were mad that they wanted Warren to delete the video of. They wanted Nolan to delete the video of Warren's brother getting his ass beat, and somebody snatched his phone, and he was saying, "Give me my fucking phone back." And the theory is now this has not been proven. This is a running theory. So this is allegedly the theory. Let's continue.
Which a certain individual lost. I believe they're referring to Warren's brother. Warren has already stated that his brother had a fight. But Warren said that his brother won. I don't think it matters if he got his ass beat or if he lost. But for some reason, it mattered enough that Nolan is no longer here. They were mad about it. Nolan did get on the boat at this time, and he got into a fight with an individual. Nolan got hurt bad, or I believe got choked out, and by accident used too much force. This is why you hear that Nolan is he dead? Because he was dead on the boat. So as I stated before, I don't believe it was something intentional, but let's make sure you guys can follow this story. If you have a fight with somebody and, you accidentally unalive them, you call the police, you go to court, you have to follow the proper protocol. When you cover it up, it is very much intentional because intentionally you covered it up.
Now, there's also some questions about the boat, Bart's boat. There's also some questions that have come up about Bart's boat. What boat did Bart use? What boat did Bart use? Now, this is very interesting. There have been some speculations that the wrong boat. Now, this has not been proven that they don't have actual GPS data on the boat that Bart said that he used. They just have different points that he said on the boat that he used. But on the other boat that he has, there's no GPS data. So they are wondering if both of them are a certain type of boat. But it's kind of like if you have a 5 Series BMW and you have a 7 Series BMW, they're both BMWs, but there are different boats. So they can say, what car were you driving? And you can say I was driving my BMW 5 Series, but when you in fact were driving your 7 Series and you give them your 5 Series to examine, they won't find anything on your 5 Series because you were driving your 7 Series. So there are questions if going around if in fact that the wrong boat was given. So there's that. Let me see if there is anything else I want to share with you guys about Nolan before I leave. Let me see. I think there is one more thing I want to share with you about the Nolan Wells case. Hold on one second. I think I have it all. I think I have it all. I think that is it for Nolan Wells. But there are a couple of real news stories that I want to cover with you guys. That there are a couple of real news stories that I wanted to make sure I covered with you guys. If you are unaware that there are two Tyson food processing plants that are closing in the United States, the major food processing plants that we have in the United States are owned. One of them is owned by, what is it? I've been talking about our food processing plants, and that they are one of them is owned by a Brazilian a company where they have the owners of the plant have gone to serve jail time for fraud and manipulation and all this type of stuff. But they have been able to come to the United States and set up in our stock market and dominate our food sources. Also, with what's going on in the Strait of Hormuz in the El Dam straits with the Houthis shutting down our straits, not only are all our goods and services increasing in price, the cost of regular oil and the cost of diesel is going up. And if you don't understand how impactful that is going to be in everything for you and across the world, there is quite possibly pretty soon going to be a famine across the world because we're not going to be able to get the things that we to grow our food. And we already understand that our farmers in the United States have been fucked for over 2 years now. And while our U.S. government is bailing out the farmers in Argentina, and our nobody is buying these things that are being produced by our U.S. farmers, and our U.S. farms have been suffering, and they haven't gotten half of the amount of money that have been sent to Argentina. If you have been following my channel, you have been seeing how our beef producers and our poultry producers and all of these meat producers have been suffering and have not even been able to send herds to market because they cannot even afford what it costs to send a herd to market because they are being so lowballed into bringing something to market by these monopoly processing plants. And they have put all of these independent and small processing plants out of business. If you are not aware of that, your government doesn't give a shit about any of this because these millionaires and billionaires are making money. And you may want to make yourself aware of it because of all of this meat that they are making in a lab raised meat. You may want to pay attention to that because they have a solution for this. What is the solution? Bill Gates has a solution for this. These big billionaires, they have a solution for this. Do you think that this is by happenstance, or do you think that this is a program for these millionaires and these ultra rich billionaires to feed you some lab raised meat? Yeah, and a lot of this meat that is on your shelves right now is lab raised meat. So let's talk about what's going on with our food right now. And the bad thing about it, this plant that this Tyson beef and chicken processing plant that is somewhere in Illinois that they closed this plant down. These people came to work on a Thursday and they told them go in the cafeteria. Don't clock in, just go in the cafeteria. They gave them 0 notices. Zero notice that no, you're not going to work today. Your job is gone with zero notice. So this is the great United States of America. This is what's happening in our country. People were crying, fighting. It was just bedlam. And they are talking about over 2,000 people lost their job right here on the day. Lost their job, and they're talking about 4,000 people in sometime Utah or Wyoming are about to lose their job at another Tyson plant. Let me share this information with you.
This right here is the Tyson Foods plant that is up in the state of Illinois, and basically they just shut doors of its entire factory overnight. Now listen, my question is, in this video, did these workers even get notice, or were they just informed the same day that they shut down plant? I'm sure they had some kind of notice. However, when we look at all the factories shutting down across the United States and the job market at the current scale that is at, it's a really scary market right now, so speaking, as well as we see beef prices, meat prices go through the roof, grocery prices through the roof. Seems like a lot of companies across the country are dealing with a lot more economic pressures from what we've seen in the past. But anyways, let's dive a little bit deeper into this video.
People started fighting, people were yelling, people were crying.
The Tyson facility in Joslin is shutting down, leaving more than 2,500 people scrambling. This is the letter those workers got this afternoon confirming the plant's permanent closure. Workers will get paid for the next 2 months, but the job some have leaned on for years is gone. The Tyson Foods plant is located in Joslin. That plant began operations in 1983 under the ownership of Iowa Beef Processors. You can tell by the map, it was a central part to the local and regional economy. But why is a company that's called the area home for so long closing its doors with next to no notice? The breadcrumbs were public as of about 10 days ago on the company's earnings call. Tyson told shareholders they expect losses around $50 million this fiscal year in its beef processing sector alone. Company officials claim cattle shortages and high livestock costs are to blame for that massive loss. But that reasoning doesn't do much for the workers who now only have a few weeks to find where their next paycheck is coming from. KWQC's Elizabeth Ruggiero talked to some of those workers who learned their career at Tyson was over.
For decades, the Tyson complex in Joslin has been the heartbeat of this community, but that beat went silent this afternoon. As workers arrived for their shift, they weren't sent to the production line. They were funneled into the cafeteria to
Wait, so they just showed up to work and they were told today's your last day? What? What do we do? I am so confused. I am so confused at these corporations, these companies. I am so beyond confused. And I got thousands of questions for these people. Seriously. And I couldn't imagine the position that a lot of these workers are in right now, because the one moment they think their job is safe, they've been at this factory for probably decades. A lot of them probably got pensions and all these different things that thought they were set for life. But you come in one day and you were told that today is your last.
Okay, that link is in my description box. Let me share another link with you on that. If you're first time, let me share this with you as well. More Perfect Union did a little clip on this. Here we go. Tyson has also shut down a Utah facility, firing 700 workers. The company said it is downsizing due to rising beef costs and historic cattle shortages. Now, it is said that the U.S. has a all-time shortage of heads of cattle. Farmers who used to for decades since in the United States, this is the smallest amount of cattle that farmers have had in the history of farming in the United States. MAGA, are you happy? Are you happy as Brooke Rollins, the head of the Department of Agriculture, has allowed screwworm to infest the cattle? Screwworm that was eradicated over 60 years ago, that is now the flesh-eating worm that is also now evasive in eating the flesh of your cattle. Brooke Rollins, who is always working on every problem, we have just started working on it, has no solution of anything, any agricultural problem that is facing our farmers today, who is acting as if she knows about everything and she's just had a meeting with everybody. And this is the state of our food and our meat under Make America Great Again. Is America great again yet, MAGA? Tyson and 3 other companies that dominate the meat industry have been accused of conspiring to raise beef. Over 2,500 Tyson food workers have been abruptly fired after the company shut down a beef plant. The workers' union UFCW says that the company didn't warn them about the layoff. Tyson has also shut down a Utah facility, firing 7. Okay, so there we have it. This is what is going on with our food. But we have billionaires who are going to take over giving you processed meat. Now, giving you man-made meat. Man-made meat. Now, some people are having problems once they eat this man-made meat. They are having this situation that physically they cannot go back to eating real meat. There is some type of a condition that flares up in them that eating real meat makes them sick. Do you think that this is by design? Huh? Do you think that this is by design? So this is what's going on. I thought that I should let you know. This is what's going on in the United States of America. We are in a useless war. Our food is dwindling.
Disgraced anti-sex trafficking NGO gets $244 million from Rapid Migrant Kids, a nonprofit with a history of sexual abuse and trafficking.
Sailors are starving and just for absolutely no reason. And we have unelected officials talking about creating more war crimes, talking about Jared Kushner is over in Israel, talking about Gaza is going to they are going to allow Israel to finish off Palestine so there can be a new Israel. Who elected Jared Kushner to anything to make these decisions? I'm curious. I'm curious. Who elected Jared Kushner to say that they are going to finish what has already been allowed to happen in Gaza? So Jared Kushner can become a richer billionaire. I'm curious. I don't know. What else do we have? Are we done talking about the Epstein files?
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the show. Hope everybody out there is having an awesome day. In just a second here, man, we have yet another colossal Epstein bombshell that nobody is talking about, but I'm banging my head against the wall because everybody should be talking about this one. This is insane, the stuff that we just learned. So I'm going to break that down for you in a second. We also have Trump continues to shoot himself in his tiny little micro penis because the fact that he has no filter anymore is leading him to accidentally say the quiet part out loud, and it is getting catastrophic for his poll numbers. It's getting catastrophic for people's perception of him. So wait until you hear the new psychotic quotes that he's casually saying. Also, we now are in the position where mass polling.
Let's get to the
also, Sound of Freedom charity, Our Rescue, formerly known as Operation Underground Railroad, they have 0 immigration lawyers, 0 federal.
Do you know that your president has allowed a group that has been implicit with trafficking children and essaying children to be over undocumented children? Let me find that first. I think I have it better right here.
Disgraced anti-sex trafficking NGO gets $244 million to rep migrant kids. A nonprofit with a history of sexual abuse and trafficking, Trump administration sees people in its immigration system as subhuman.
I guess that would sound. Who is okay with your president giving this group money? I guess if we dehumanize a race of people, y'all can be okay with anything. You can be okay with anything. Is America great again yet? Are you guys rationalizing any and everything that is done by this administration? So what does that make you? If you rationalize this type of shit.
Covering what the corporate media covers up. The Trump administration is entrusting a nonprofit with a history of sexual abuse and trafficking allegations with taking care of migrant children. I'm JT Siskowski with Status Coup. I wish I was exaggerating there. I am not. The Trump administration just gave this non-governmental organization, or NGO, $244 million through a contract. Let's start here with a headline from the American Prospect. Disgraced anti-sex trafficking NGO gets $244 million to rep migrant kids. An anti-sex trafficking nonprofit in Utah whose founder resigned after multiple women accused him of trafficking and sexual abuse has won a federal contract to provide legal services to unaccompanied migrant children in government custody. The Trump administration gave Our Rescue a no-bid $244 million contract on August 7th, according to the federal award notice posted late Friday night. The deal floods the organization with 7 times the amount of money it had in 2025, according to its most recently available Form 990, which put total assets.
Where's JD Vance looking for fraud? Where's the JD Vance fraud department? Huh? Where's JD Vance fraud department? Oh, nowhere to be found. Oh, okay.
At $36.9 million. The blatant cruelty of the Trump administration, it almost is a parody of itself at this point. This could have been an Onion headline. Trump administration gives nonprofit with history of sexual and abuse and trafficking allegations, kids to take care of, to provide legal services to them. What are you supposed to do with this information? How are you supposed to process it? How are you supposed to take away anything other than the Trump administration sees people in its immigration system as subhuman, as not deserving proper care, as not deserving of care by organizations, especially kids, care by organizations that have a reputable history and hold themselves to the highest standards. Let's get some background on who this organization is. It's unclear how many children our rescue will represent. The notice says only that it will provide legal services to children in the care of the Office of Refugee Resettlement, established to offer support for victims of human trafficking and those seeking asylum in the United States. Nearly 1,800 children were in the agency's care in June. Over the last year, it has averaged about 1,908 children monthly. These are people who are, as they say here, victims of human trafficking, now being handed over to an organization that has been accused of trafficking. The Trafficking Victims Protection Reauthorization Act of 2008 requires that the federal government shall ensure to the greatest extent practicable that all unaccompanied minors receive legal counsel to represent them in legal proceedings, and that it will protect them from mistreatment, exploitation, and trafficking. Our rescue and a small Texas law firm founded by a former Trump appointee are taking up that work after the Trump administration failed to pay and then canceled the contract of the legal aid groups previously providing the services. So this is not the Trump administration choosing to provide these services out of the goodness of its heart. No, this is them having to follow laws that were passed. Otherwise, you can bet that they probably would not be offering these services to these minors in their care. No, they are doing this because it is required by law, but still in their version of the law that they have to follow, they are finding a way to award a Trump ally with this contract. Our rescue, formerly known as Operation Underground Railroad, or OUR, did not respond to repeated emails and phone calls for more information, including when it expects to begin work or how many children it will represent. Our rescue conducts international sting operations to catch sex traffickers, similar to Dateline's To Catch a Predator. The organization gained national notoriety in 2023 when the film Sound of Freedom dramatized the life of founder and CEO Tim Ballard, portraying him as a Homeland Security investigations agent sent to rescue child sex trafficking victims in Colombia. Shortly after its release on July 4th of that year, multiple former employees came forward to accuse Ballard himself of sexual assault and trafficking, including during sting operations. According to the women, Ballard would use a couple's ruse, quote unquote, during stings, coercing them into acting as his romantic partner so that traffickers wouldn't suspect him. They said that he would assault them while demanding they remain in character and play their part as one half of a kinky couple. If that's the kind of organization that is being entrusted with kids, let that sink in. This organization is being entrusted with kids, while at the same time, it could not recognize the own assault that was happening under its own roof, allegedly, by its very CEO until after a movie dramatization of their work actually came out. This is more here. The year he resigned, referring to Ballard, Form 990 documents show that Ballard was drawing a $566,993 salary from the nonprofit. Today, CEO Derek Brenner, who is drawing a salary of $413,387, saying in his most recent letter to donors that he, quote, owes those we serve to remain lean, unquote. Brenner came to the organization with a background in conducting sting operations of a different kind. Brenner spent a decade at the Department of Homeland Security including as Executive Associate Director of Homeland Security Investigations, and before that, the Deputy Executive Associate Director. During his tenure, the agency set up a fake university in Michigan to lure foreign nationals who wanted to extend the length of time they could stay in the country by obtaining student visas. Officials named the school University of Farmington after the office space it used in Farmington Hills. Operation Paper Chase resulted in the arrest of 250 students in early 2019, most of whom left the U.S. voluntarily. So this is somebody who already has connections to HSI, to Homeland Security, now being gifted this contract to work in concert with the Department of Homeland Security in caring for these kids. So you can't say that the kids are in the best hands there, but certainly then, at least while they're inside of immigration, the immigration system, if they're...
There you go. This is your government at work. There you go. So I just thought that I would give you that information. Barely talked about by the We Love the Children Republican Party. Did you guys, were you guys aware of that? Hello, Miss Kitten. Were you guys aware of that? Let me share something else that I wanted to share with you. I think I wanted to share one more thing I wanted to share with you. One more thing. I've already shared this one. I apologize. All my links that I share with you are in my description box. Let me go here. I apologize. Here we go. Let me see. Our treasury is failing. We just bailed out Japan so they would not sell off our bonds. And Japan is selling off our bonds once again because that did not help Japan. And Japan is now selling off our bonds. You know what that means? Not only is Japan selling off our bonds, Japan and Europe are selling off our bonds. If you are unaware of that, since nobody's telling you about that, and Donald Trump is talking about everything is hunky-dory in the United States, let's just get into it. Once you know, you cannot go back into not knowing. As you have lispy motherfuckers who is taking vacation trips with the downtrodden and trying to make themselves appear as they are the hottest ticket on YouTube, as they are some a highbrow motherfucker in the chitlin circuit of YouTube. Let's really understand what is going on financially in the United States of America, which you live in, so you can do something to possibly avert a calamity that is coming your way in the United States of America. Be smart. Don't be stupid.
Has ever covered, and there is a reasonable chance you will not see it discussed on most mainstream outlets because it requires understanding 4 interconnected systems simultaneously to grasp why it matters. The United States is in serious trouble. The situation is very convoluted, but what we're about to witness is a house of cards in the early stages of collapse. I'm going to walk through it step by step, Take your time with this one. On Friday morning, during a cabinet meeting at Camp David, Reuters photographer Daniel Hoyer captured a photograph over Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent's shoulder. On the notepad in front of him, positioned directly beneath his name card, with nothing else written on the page, were the words, "To do, buy Japanese yen, $5 to $10 billion." Hours later, the Federal Reserve Bank of New York sold euros to buy yen on behalf of the U.S. Treasury. The yen surged, the intervention was confirmed, and the United States government did something it has not done since 2011 when a magnitude
RonyiQ told you about that when it happened.
Of 9.0 earthquake and a nuclear meltdown at Fukushima devastated Japan, and the G7 coordinated emergency currency support to prevent the country's financial system from collapsing. There is no earthquake this time, thankfully. There is no tsunami. There is no nuclear disaster. The disaster is the U.S. bond market. And Bessent just told the world that the United States is now spending billions of dollars to prop up another country's currency, because the alternative is watching its own borrowing costs spiral out of control. Now, feelings aside, this kind of breach is unprecedented for a sitting Treasury Secretary. Generally, in central banking and Treasury circles, operational security is not really a preference, it is a foundational principle. Markets move on information, and a photograph to-do list containing the size and direction of a currency intervention is the kind of leak that, in any other context, would trigger an internal investigation, possibly a resignation as well. My name is...
But your Treasury Secretary who let Elon Musk go into all of your Treasury up and into how payment systems are operated with 18, 19, and 20-year-old hackers via Elon Musk had let this information be captured by a reporter because he's stupid. Scott Bessent, the same Scott Bessent who was on a unsecure signal call with the stupid vice president, national security advisor, and Pete Kegbreath. We have a bunch of dummies running our whole United States of America. Let's continue. Where has that gotten us? Where are we? The laughing stock of the world.
And I use data analysis to spot patterns in geopolitics and economics, and I need to explain why the U.S. Treasury buying Japanese yen is actually about protecting the U.S. Treasury bond market, because that connection is the reason this story matters more than almost anything else happening in the global economy right now. And I need to explain it simply first, because it's deeply consequential. Second, because the mechanics are not actually that complicated. They're just kind of hidden. Let's start with Japan. The yen hit 163.99 to the dollar last week. That's the weakest level since December 1986, a 40-year low. Japanese companies are going bankrupt at the highest rate in 12 years, over 5,000 in the first half of 2026 alone, with 45 specifically citing the weak yen as the cause of their collapse. At this point, starting a business in Tokyo carries roughly the same financial risk profile as opening an underwater fireworks store. Import costs for food, fuel, and raw materials have surged. Wholesale inflation is running above 6%, and the Bank of Japan is a bit trapped. It hiked rates to 1% in June, the highest since 1995, but the yen kept falling because the gap between Japanese rates at 1% and American rates at nearly 4% is still enormous. Money flows to wherever the yield is higher, and the yield right now is higher in the USA. That flow weakens the yen and strengthens the dollar, which sounds like it should be good for the United States. It is good for the United States in the exact same way that eating 5 pounds of free cotton candy is good for your short-term blood sugar. It's not, and understanding why is the key to understanding everything that happened on Friday. When Japanese institutions like pension funds, insurance companies, banks send money to the United States to buy treasury bonds, they're lending the U.S. government money. Japan holds $1.14 trillion in U.S. treasuries. It is the single largest foreign holder of American government debt. But when the yen collapses, those institutions face a growing problem. The value of their American investments denominated in dollars stays the same in dollar terms, but the cost of converting those dollars back into yen to pay Japanese retirees, Japanese policyholders, and Japanese depositors becomes progressively more expensive with every move in the exchange rate. At some point, the currency loss eats the yield advantage entirely, and when that happens, the rational decision, or rather the only decision, is to sell the American bonds, bring the money back home, and just buy Japanese government bonds that now yield nearly 4% on the 30-year, which
So where does that leave Americans?
is enough to meet domestic obligations without the currency risk that is destroying returns.
So what will that leave Americans, and how will Americans meet their risks they want?
The American side. That is exactly what has been happening. We covered a bit of this on this channel as well. Japanese holdings of U.S. treasuries have fallen from $1.2 trillion to $1.14 trillion, $66 billion gone in a matter of months. The selling accelerated sharply in the first quarter of 2026 when the Japanese investors dumped $29.6 billion in a single quarter, which is the largest sell-off since 2022. And every dollar Japan sells puts upward pressure on U.S. bond yields because when a major buyer exits, the remaining buyers on this planet demand higher returns to compensate for the reduced demand. The 30-year U.S. Treasury yield has been above 5% for over a month now, which is the longest stretch since 2007, the year before the Great Financial Crisis. The interest bill on America's national debt now exceeds the combined budgets of the Department of Defense, Homeland Security, Commerce, Education, the EPA, and the Small Business Administration. All of these combined. The government borrows $155 billion every single month. $24 billion a week goes to interest alone. That is not a national budget. That is the global equivalent of lighting a brand new super yacht on fire every 6 hours just to keep the Oval Office warm. And Besant needs to borrow $900 billion more by October to fund the deficit. So now you see the full chain. The yen falls, Japanese institutions sell treasuries to bring money home, Treasury selling pushes U.S. yields higher. Higher yields make the deficit more expensive, and more expensive deficit requires more borrowing. More borrowing at 5% requires more buyers, but the biggest buyer is the one who is actually selling, and that is why the United States just spent $5 to $10 billion buying yen. Besant is not saving Japan. He is saving his own bond market. The yen is just the mechanism. The treasuries are the target, and the notepad was just the announcement. My book, Awake, the Practice of Critical Thinking in an Age.
Okay. So, there you go.
Into a reserve currency alternative, the United States is selling it to prop up the yen. The contradiction could not be any sharper, and the timing could not be worse for Scott Bessent, because the ECB is expected to hike rates again before the end of the year. Eurozone inflation remains above target, 2.9% in July, and rising again after briefly easing in June, driven by renewed fighting in the Middle East, pushing energy costs higher. Lagarde has already hiked.
And whose fault is that? Whose fault is the rising price of oil in the Middle East? MAGA. MAGA, you don't have nothing to say? MAGA, you don't have anything to say about how your president is so inept that he has ruined the whole world economy? Oh, no. Because you're too stupid.
Once in June and described the decision as robust across all scenarios. If the ECB hikes again, the euro strengthens further. A stronger euro means the dollar Bessent sold to buy yen, funded by selling euros, become more expensive to replace. It also means European bonds become more attractive relative to American ones, pulling capital towards Frankfurt and away from Washington, again, at precisely the moment Bessent needs that capital flowing in the opposite direction. They're shooting themselves in the foot again. The intervention used the euro as fuel. The ECB is about to rise the price of that fuel, basically, and every basis point the ECB adds makes the structural case for holding euros instead of dollars more compelling, which is exactly what the ECB's own annual report documented this year when it showed Eurobond issuance at an all-time high, American companies borrowing in euros at record scale, and the euro behaving as a safe haven during every major crisis since 2025. Besson sold euros to buy time. The European Central Bank is about to make that time a lot more expensive. This intervention worked for about 12 hours, which gives this multi-billion-dollar global economic maneuver roughly the same shelf life as a fresh pint of draft beer on a very hot summer afternoon, of which we've had so many in Europe, haven't we? On Thursday evening, the yen surged to 157.8 from its 163.9 low. By Friday morning, it had already weakened again, backed above 160. The Bank of Japan held rates steady on Friday, unable to hike further because of 6% yields. Japan's entire tax revenue would go to servicing its own national debt. The structural problem, which is a 400 basis point interest rate gap between the US and Japan, remains completely unresolved despite these interventions, and every previous intervention has produced a shorter lasting effect than the one before it. Japan spent $7 billion on intervention in April and May of this year. The yen fell to a new 40-year low anyway. Japan spent $62 billion in 2024. The yen fell to a 38-year low anyway. The interventions by hours or maybe days, the structural forces by months and years, and the structural forces right now are all pointing in the exact same direction. Japanese money coming home, US yields going up, and Besant running out of tools to stop this. And here's the detail that Raw Story, Forex.com, and several market analysts all noted independently. Besant's notepad appeared to be deliberately exposed. There was nothing else written on the page. His name card was positioned directly above it. The photograph was taken during an on-the-record portion of the cabinet meeting, meaning cameras were allowed and expected. Last time a Besant notepad was photographed during a White House briefing in May, it said resilience written 3 times. When asked about it the next day by a Daily Mail reporter, Besant laughed and said, I'm quoting, so people could look over my shoulder, photograph them, and think they got a scoop. He is telling you how the game is working. In my personal view, it does not appear that the notepad is an accident. It appears to be a signal designed to move markets without the Treasury having to issue a formal statement that would commit it to a specific policy. By telling
these people are numbnuts. These people are just numbnuts. Now, let's get to Judge order Epstein grand jury documents unsealed. And let's see what has been unsealed in these grand jury documents. You will be flabbergasted. We're talking about Epstein again now. Since the nation is broke and busted, let's talk about some of the shit that has started to come out in these Epstein files. Y'all want to talk about that? Since we have gone to war and all of this stuff, let's talk about the Epstein.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the show. Hope everybody out there is having an awesome day. In just a second here, man, we have yet another colossal Epstein bombshell that nobody is talking about, but I'm banging my head against the wall because is leading to stage 5 meltdowns among right-wing pro-Israel TV hosts. So you love to see it. So you get a notification because it would be files. She says, the government just gave a charity being sued for sex trafficking a 200 history is whatever. And then you dig into it and they haven't hired anybody that's a lawyer for migrant kids. None of them. If they're trying to do a cover-up and they're trying to get away with some shit here, it's the worst cover-up in the world because you guys are caught. Like, you guys are caught red fucking handed. So
I've already shared that story with you on Status Quo. That is under Children in Danger. Let's get to the Epstein file. This will be in my description box under Epstein file releases. New Epstein file releases. How about that?
They say the kids' real lawyer, the children's confidential files. They
Will
refuse.
be shocked at this new information. That is your mainstream media talking about this? No, they ain't talking
And their
about
contract
shit.
died. Full contract. And I've been telling you guys, the thing we have to look out for the most when it comes to the Epstein files is Donald J. Trump, the president of the United States, one of the 10 Epstein co-conspirators? And this, among many other things, leads me to believe he might be an actual Epstein co-conspirator. But more on that in a second, because it's going to get even darker, okay? I also told you this on Friday. New FBI documents released via the Freedom of Information Act show the Department of Justice had a document flag list when it began reviewing Epstein files last year. There are 16 entries that are simply marked POTUS. So these things basically redacted, simply marked POTUS, okay? Explicitly, hey, the reason we're holding this back is because the president of the United States is implicated. This should surprise nobody because, as you all know, he was in the Epstein files literally over 1 million times. His name is mentioned more in the Epstein files than Jesus' name is mentioned in the Bible, y'all. That's a fact. Another fact is when they only released 1 or 2% of the Epstein files, he was already listed in that bitch 38,000 times. But it gets worse. So here we go. We have a little segment here on CNN, Tap Jaker's show, and they're discussing the Epstein files. They say the following.
And some of this is handwritten notes from the FBI agents interviewing victims and also potentially even perpetrators, right?
Well, the FBI handwritten notes implicate Donald Trump.
FBI handwritten notes, redacted, directly implicating Donald J. Trump. Directly implicating them. What the DOJ hasn't produced. Handwritten notes FBI took during witness interviews, files in foreign languages, and explanations of redactions. But handwritten notes directly implicating Donald Trump.
Secret while doing the stand at the DOJ to not release them. They are handwritten notes by 4 different meetings with a victim who alleges when she was 13 she was sexually abused by Donald Trump. That's it.
Katie Johnson. This is the Katie Johnson allegation. Ladies and gentlemen, finish watching this segment, but as soon as you're done watching this segment, do yourself a favor. Type in Secular Talk Katie Johnson into the YouTube search bar and watch your mind get blown. Because there was a literal video of her where she told her story with her face, censored in a hotel where she was suing.
Look at the maggot is mad and wants to talk off a topic about some dumb bullshit because they don't want to talk about the fact of how this country is being ruined because they are such a dumb fuck. The fuck out of here with your dumb ass. Let's continue. Talk about what we're talking about.
Epstein and Trump back in 2016, and she eventually dropped the case. The speculation is she dropped the case because she was either paid to drop it, right? Like settled out of court, paid to drop it, or she was threatened, okay? But she has a detailed story about what Trump did to her, what Epstein did to her, how she was trafficked, how Trump has a nipple torture fetish, how Trump directly raped her and another underage girl that she was with, okay? It's all out there. Nobody ever talks about it, but it's all out there. Go look at the Katie Johnson allegations.
You ain't gonna talk about that, huh, maggot? Maggot, no, you don't have anything to say about this story, huh? You want to talk about Democrats now, huh, maggot? But you don't have a story like this to talk about the Democrats. So you're not gonna talk about what we're talking about in this video. Oh no, you're not gonna do that.
We covered it on Secular Talk. We went through virtually the entire interview.
We went through the interview here on this channel as well. Yes, we went through the Katie Johnson interview here as well. But these maggots are not going to talk about any of that. Let's continue.
And I responded point for point. This is already out there. And again, it is criminally under discussed. But now you have CNN alluding to it. And what did they do? They specifically tried to redact the handwritten letters from the Katie Johnson interview with the FBI. It's a specific cover-up over the Katie Johnson allegations. That's what this is. By the way, the plot's going to thicken even more in a second.
And why were they redacted? Or why were they redactions released? Because Katie Fang sued about these illegal redactions, because these redactions were illegal, and Katie Fang sued, and a judge said that these redactions that Todd Blanche, that the Republican senators approved to be the new DOJ, who illegally put these redactions on, but your Republicans senators approved him as the new DOJ anyway. This is who MAGA is voting as congressmen and senators. This is who they are putting in the highest branches of government. People who are putting people like this in, who are trying to hide this type of behavior. And you got idiots coming in here talking about Democrats. It's just mind-boggling. People want talking points, but what do you want for your life? What do you want in an elected official that represents you and what is best for how you go about living your everyday life? What do you want for how you live your life? Are you satisfied with the way that America is going? Are you satisfied with how America works for the American people? Or are you satisfied having some hate topic to fall back upon? When you can't pay your bills, when you can't pay your grocery bill, when you can't pay your insurance bill, when you can't see a doctor that you need to see. Does having a person of color, does having somebody else who is not your race, your color, your gender, does that make everything else all right with you? Or do you want a government that works for you? Or are you falling for the okie doke? Oh, yeah, you're falling for the okie doke because you have allowed your elected officials to take education off the table for the American citizens and dummy you down so much that this is what you find acceptable in your government because you're stupid. But let's continue.
But CNN now is talking about the Katie Johnson allegations.
Who alleges when she was 13, she was sexually abused by Donald Trump. That's the allegation. Now, the actual 302s, the official FBI reports, they've been turned over. After much hullabaloo and pushing by media, they were turned over. Why aren't you turning over these handwritten notes? Well, today, the prosecution said, well, you know what? They're duplicative. That's the first time they've ever said it. Before they said it was substantially similar to the 302s. So what did the judge do today? He said that the handwritten notes must be turned over in camera, unredacted, so that he can check them out because they continue to refuse to give them to the court.
And of course, President Trump denies any wrongdoing having to do with the Epstein files.
As he does.
Yes, as he does. Thank you so much, Katie.
It's all coming out. This is the definition of what's called a limited hangout. They released about 50% of the Epstein files, which is millions of documents, but they're still hiding the most damning parts. That's what you need to understand. They give you a little bit, and then they take out the most damaging stuff. They're still hiding. This stuff, they're still trying to hide it. Well, guess what? We have one of the documents floating around now. It was posted by the DOJ, perhaps accidentally. Okay. Jim Stewartson says, wow, this is all very specific. And he's pointing to, this is one of the handwritten letters that was being held back by the FBI. More on it in a second, because it's very hard to read if you just go through it like this. Okay. Someone at the DOJ is definitely getting fired for forgetting to redact Donald Trump's name from this file. So again, handwritten. So what does it say? Jeffrey Epstein, my testimony places Donald Trump as a person involved in the sale of young women to sex trafficking ring of Jeffrey Epstein and the Saudis. Let me repeat that. Handwritten letter to the FBI. My testimony places Donald Trump as a person involved in the sale of young women to the sex trafficking ring of Jeffrey Epstein and the Saudis. What did I tell you? What did I tell you?
MAGA, what do you guys say about the Democrats now? MAGA? MAGA. You said something about Democrats, MAGA? Come back. You weren't blocked. What do you have to say about the Democrats now?
tell you, the major bombshell that it appears like they're hiding is that Donald J. Trump is one of the 10 Epstein co-conspirators. Let me ask you, how many of the 10 co-conspirators were arrested, were locked up, have cases on them? The answer is...
Are we clear that this is the things that have been being hidden in the Epstein file? Are we clear that people wouldn't stop talking about the Epstein files and now we are in a war? Are we clear that our blood and treasure is being evaporated because people wouldn't stop talking about the Epstein file? Are we clear that our soldiers are out there starving and not having showers, working toilets, having a whole ship full of inoperable porta potties to have to use, overrunning porta potties, and your president said that they haven't been out there long enough. A war, a draft dodging president, when he hear the conditions to the point that people are having mental breakdowns in a war, a draft dodging president said that, well, they haven't been out there long enough when they have been out there longer than any sailors have been out on deployed out on a ship. And this is what your president had to say. All because they wanted to continue to hide what was in the Epstein files. And strangely enough, as everything in the United States is getting expensive and we are on the verge of a famine, this is what we find out about the Epstein files. Are we going to pretend like your president didn't go to, who was it? Didn't go to, was it North Korea? Was it North Korea? Oh, was it South Korea? No, it wasn't South Korea. Yeah, I think it was South Korea. Are we going to pretend like your president didn't go to South Korea and ask South Korea, would they be interested? Was it South Korea? Don't quote me. I think it was South Korea. And ask them, were they interested in joining us and fighting this war with Iran? And South Korea is like, what the fuck we want to go fight Iran for? We ain't got shit to do with this. And then come up with some reason why they don't want to continue to do exercises with South Korea, because South Korea wouldn't commit to continue to help us fight this war in Iran. You know, the war that he said that we are winning. You know, this war. And now we got beef with South Korea. Yeah, South Korea, not North Korea. And now he want he want to buddy up with Kim Jong-un because, you know, they are great friends. And now he got beef with South Korea. The reason why he got beef with South Korea because they told him kick rocks. No, we're not going to join you in a war with Iran. For what, motherfucker? You're going to take your bases away? Good, because we don't want to be a target. We don't give a fuck. This is what's going on. And you numbnuts are sitting up here in the United States suffering, and you act like, oh, well, I'm doing better than the next Negro. I'm the unicorn Negro. I'm doing good. I'm a unicorn Negro. I'm doing better. And you don't know what is about to become of the United States because you're stupid too.
Literally zero. This is the biggest cover-up in U.S. government history. I think it's fair to call this the biggest cover-up in U.S. government history. Every single Epstein co-conspirator they are protecting because they're all part of the billionaire robber baron cabal. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is going after Letitia James and James Comey and Don Lemon and some guy who put his hand in the reflecting pool and did nothing wrong. All of them, throw the book at them, but God forbid you actually traffic little girls, well, you're free to go. No problem whatsoever. The pedophile president's going to protect you. Till his dying breath, he's going to be there to protect you. It is incredible. Okay, but I'm still not done. Here's what the other note says. Donald Trump can stand in the driveway and have a clear view of me naked and on my knees on the mattress. Donald Trump says, you said she is pregnant. She doesn't look pregnant. George says she is. My dad took her to Army doctor, and he estimates she's 2.5 months pregnant. Trump asks, is she on drugs? George said yes. Trump said, we don't like for them to be pregnant because we lose money. Trump said, we don't like for them to be pregnant because we lose money. A doctor might could cause her to miscarry, or if the child is good looking, whether we could sail the baby. You said she is religious. The Saudis like the religious ones. We'll figure it out. You will take her. Holy fucking shit. It's all coming out. Listen, I'm one of very few voices that has been following this from the beginning, documenting it from the beginning, went through the Epstein files as they came out, and people are just now beginning to open their eyes to the fact that Jeffrey Epstein is on an audio tape saying that he was Trump's best friend for a decade. People are just now beginning to realize that Trump was on Epstein's plane at least 8 times that we know of, and that he did go to the island. People are just now beginning to realize that the first time that Trump and Melania had sex was allegedly on the Lolita Express, which was Epstein's pedophile plane. People are just now beginning to realize that Epstein knew the inner workings of Trump's first White House, and that he was clearly being fed information and a potential partner of Trump, and they were co-conspirators working together. Trump and Epstein literally shared a girlfriend. They shared a girlfriend. Trump was outed as having a nipple torture fetish. We learned in the Epstein files that Trump assaulted someone in Ivanka's bedroom in 1993 with her husband in the next room. And Epstein emailed Michael Wolff that. Okay? All of this is now coming out. But it's crazy to me how so much of this has not been focused on by our media. I mean, we got a little bit of focus when, what was it? The New York Times released how Trump wrote a creepy love letter to Epstein on his birthday, you know, basically implying that they're both pedophiles, right? But the deeper and darker secrets are now coming to light because, as I told you from the beginning, Epstein learned human trafficking from Trump's teenage modeling agency. By the way, why is it not a bigger deal that Trump was on Howard Stern back in the day and he said, oh yeah, since I own Miss Teen USA, I walk into the dressing room as they're naked and I can get away with that because I own the place. Literally bragging about perving out and creeping on teenage girls changing in a dressing room. And people didn't...
I got to do inspections. You know, they be standing there, they're naked and half naked. I got to do inspections. Are we going to pretend like we didn't hear that?
Pound the gavel in and go, oh, okay, well, that settles it. He's a pedophile. Nobody did that. Insane. What about those private events that were hosted at Mar-a-Lago where it was Trump and one other person, Jeffrey Epstein? What about those? We have Michael Wolff, who said that there was a picture Epstein showed him of Trump with a stain on his pants with 2 girls, one of them bent over, pointing at him and laughing. As if to say he like nutted in his pants with these girls of an uncertain age. That's a direct quote from Michael Wolff. Nutted in his pants, and there's a fucking picture of it. By the way, you wonder why Israel gets literally anything and everything they want from Donald J. Trump. Because Epstein was Mossad, and that means there's a thick folder of all of these crimes that Trump was engaged in, right? And Netanyahu, all he has to do is hold that over Trump's head. You're going to do our bidding. You're going to attack Iran. You're going to do X, Y, and Z. Because if you don't, maybe the video of you with Katie Johnson will come out. You wouldn't want that to happen now, would you? I don't think you want that to happen now, would you? I don't know why I'm the only one that talks about, in 2011, Trump spent hours at Epstein's house with an Epstein victim, and you have a literal email directly from Epstein talking to somebody and saying, Trump's at the house right now with one of the victims, and he's been there for hours. So that means, because we know all of Epstein's houses were bugged, that means there are definitely pictures and videos of him with underage girls. But I'll tell you what, the fact that these letters are now coming out and what they say is honestly leading me to believe that even everything that is accused on the FBI intake forms, that those are even likely to be true. Okay? So, for example, the Dallas limo driver who said that Trump talked to Epstein on the phone about abusing girls. The guy said, I wanted to pull over and beat the shit out of him, overhearing that phone call that he had with Epstein. Okay? Or all the stories about, what was it? He had a riverboat casino in Lake Michigan called the Trump Princess. And there were stories of Trump allegedly graping a girl named Dusty in the year 2000 from Oklahoma, and she was found with her head blown off, and the authorities thought that it wasn't suicide. And then allegedly this Trump Princess riverboat was used to, like, literally dump bodies out there, in Lake Michigan. Look, I'm telling you what's on. The intake forms are crazy. There's a lot of fucking intake forms with some crazy.
Katie Fang is the one who made sure that all of this redacted information was unredacted, because these redactions were illegal per the law, that the Epstein files must be released, and only redactions to protect the information about the victims, not to protect the subjects of the investigations, and save reputations of people being investigated. Oh, okay. Thank you, Katie Fang. And Todd Blanche continued to hold these redactions in place and said that there is nothing to see here. They're repetitive. They're this. They're that. And now the redactions are being unredacted. Now let's see what we see here.
Yeah, shit. But that's viewed as like the first thing you would do if you have a claim against somebody, is you put on the FBI intake form and you give it to them, and then they are supposed to look deeper into it. And at first there were a lot of those things, this one doesn't add up, this one doesn't add up, etc. Right? But now, the more you see, now what we're learning is Trump was allegedly an Epstein co-conspirator, and he was directly selling girls to Epstein and to the fucking Saudis. So now all of a sudden, all that other crazy stuff that they were accusing him of, maybe that's possible too. Maybe a lot of that other stuff is possible too. Anything is possible when Jeffrey Epstein literally had a drawer at his home that had exclusively pictures of Trump and his family in it. What does that tell you? If the #1 world's most infamous, notorious pedophile child sex trafficker has a full drawer with nothing but your pictures and your family's pictures and documents about you, Epstein knew about all of the financing at Mar-a-Lago, including mortgage fraud that they were committing. What does it say that they were that close? What does it say? Mar-a-Lago was subpoenaed in the Ghislaine Maxwell investigation because they thought it was the hub of the child sex trafficking. And this is the president of the United States of America right now. So, massive bombshell. Share this far and wide. This should honestly, chill everybody to their core, what we're witnessing here. But the president of the United States is without a doubt a black male pedophile. Okay. And the extent of the crimes go above and beyond what anybody in their wildest imagination thought possible. Now go ahead. You go tune into Joe Rogan and whoever else is still part of the right-wing MAGA cuck sphere and see if they're talking about this. See if they're telling you the truth about Epstein and Trump. See if they're not going to do that. They're going to fucking hide it because they're part of that Epstein class, and now everybody knows it. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop.
Oh, look at this stupid fool in the chat. Who are you? Who are you is the question. You're sitting up here word for word. You don't know a damn thing that you're talking about. Sounding stupid. Okay, that's all I have. Who? The girl who? He's in there arguing with himself. He's in there punching at the air. Very caring. Very caring. Girl. I ain't got time for ignorance. I ain't got time for motherfuckers who cannot defute the facts. The link is in my description box. Have at it. Go argue with somebody who gives a fuck to argue with you, motherfucker. Probably living in a a trailer park with a rain soaked roof laying in on them full of mold and shit, motherfucker. Go vote for somebody who's gonna make your life better, you dumb motherfucker. And in here talking all of that dumb shit, supporting this type of shit. Anyway, I am about to drop this link in the chat. There has been new information. Come to find out, the DA of Mississippi is reportedly married to someone in the FBI. I haven't seen the video. I'm gonna drop the link to the video for you right here. I heard that there was an FBI connection. Is it the DA is married to someone in the FBI? Is that the connection? Very Carey and Carmelo Anthony has the judge. Now it says Carmelo, a judge, recused. Did he recuse himself, or they got a new judge, or did they get the judge recused? Two witnesses. Witness to fight speaks. Now, this is at the original Queen Amia Shakur show page. I am going to go over there. I missed her this morning because we went on at the same time. I'm going to drop her link. This is the latest information that I have on Nolan Wells story and the Carmelo Anthony story. Here is her link right here, and it will also be in my description box. It will be the last link in my description box. Let me see what you're saying. Miss, all of that cursing and bad language don't make you a better person. That makes you a smaller person. I think you can talk without all of that. I don't give a fuck what you think that my language makes me. I don't give a fuck what you think that makes me, because I am not trying to be anything to you. So who gives a fuck what you think about my personage? I don't give a fuck about what you think of me as a person. Hit the like button, bitch. Who gives a fuck what you think about me as a person? Think about these links that I'm giving you. Think about this information that I'm giving you. Think about who are you going to vote for to make your life better? Because I don't think about you. I'm giving you information. Think about that. Think about the information that I'm dropping. Because what you think about me and how I live my life means absolutely nothing to me. Are you improving my life? Did you drop me a cash app? Are you doing anything to improve my life? As I give you information to help you improve yours? If you're not improving my life, what the fuck I give a fuck about you? And what you think about my life? Get the fuck out of here. Anyway, there is the... Did you give me a gift? Did you tap the gift button? Did you tap the Cash App button? Fuck, think I give a fuck about what you think about cursing. I'm a grown ass woman. You don't like cursing? Don't curse, bitch. Okay. Anyway, go over to the original king, the original Queen Ahmadiyya Shakur show, and find out the latest breaking news about Carmelo Anthony judge being recused. There will be a hearing tomorrow to see if he will receive a new trial. Also, the latest on the DA in the Nolan Nolan, the Nolan, what is his last name, Lord? The Nolan Wells case. Also, what is the last thing? There are allegedly some witnesses who saw some fight on the island who are going to speak, and Bart owns part of something she has. The title is cut off. They're talking about Bart owning a part of something. So go over there and check her out. Great channel or great information. Very Carey, I haven't seen you go live. I hadn't gotten any notification. When are you going live? I hope you go live soon. So these links are in my description box. This last link is going to be in the description box under what am I gonna put it on? Latest. Hold on 1 second. On Nolan and Carmelo. Okay, so I appreciate you guys being here. If there is no breaking news on tomorrow, I will see you on Friday. But something tells me there may be some breaking news. So if there is some breaking news, I will see you guys on tomorrow, somewhere between 8 a.m. and 8:30 a.m. Now, Willie D, he did a live of the services. There was a prayer visual. I was unable to find the prayer visual, but Willie D did a live of the prayer visual. You'll start soon. I've been busy. I understand. I do understand. Willie D did a live of the prayer visual for Nolan Wells. Let me, I'm going to drop that link too. He was in the middle of the live, so I didn't want to go over there and share it because he was actually live. Let me go over there and find it. If you guys want to go over there and check that. Oh, he's still live. He's still live. I'm gonna drop this Willie D live prayer visual. He has the psychotherapist Elliot Coney on there. I like him too. He did a interview with the raccoon Race Tatum. He has him on there right now. So go over there and check out Willie D live. I'm going to drop him in the chat, and he will also be the last link in my description box. Here he is. Here he is right here. Go over there and check out these people holding it down with the information. Did I? Let me see. Nope, I didn't. Hold on. I didn't copy it right for some reason. Hold on. Okay, and Willie D, I'll put him in my description box under latest on. I'll put him in my description box under Willie D. So I appreciate everybody who came out, participated in the chat. Please like the video. I thank you for being here. I thank you for subscribing to my channel. Avail yourself to the links that I have supplied you. Hold on. And I will see you if something comes up tomorrow. If not, I will see you on Friday. But I appreciate all of your support. Tell a friend. Tell a friend where you get information if you like this channel. Come back and see me sometime. You hear? All right, guys. That's it for me. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.